Welcome one, welcome all. Welcome back to Vince Does Chess. In this video, we will be looking at common openings that players use, and the one I use. This is the Renaissance chessboard, because I've been mentioning it. I just thought I'd show you guys how it looks. So you got your chess rules in there, we'll set those off. The board, and that is how the pieces fit within the box. So I'll set it up for the openings, and I'll see you back in a moment. And we are back. I knocked that one piece over, but we are back. And just to improve the lighting a bit, I will actually get on our lights, and then we will see you back then. And welcome back. We'll start off with the opening I am most familiar with because I use it in most of my competitive games. This is the king's pawn opening. You move the king up, followed. There are several variations. I like to do bishop out. However, this can be stopped if you're playing black, they start a queen's opening. You're black. Becomes, instead of the king's opening, the king's gambit, which I do not like gambits for various reasons. There are very few that I use, but king pawn up 2. I'll just mirror it on the other side. Bishop out, or another thing I like to do if they're matching me is threaten the pawn. Make them do either queen or, rook. Why can't I come up with knight? I'm such a fool. But so knight to protect from knight takes pawn. Then I'll pull my bishop out, trying to force them to close off that pawn chain, keeping their bad bishop, corralled, taking 2 moves to activate instead of 1. But if you go there, again, not the end of the world. You're just not maybe delaying them as much as I would like. So 3 moves aside, so it's white to move. I'm going to leave it there. Now, I'd probably seal off my pawn chain. So if they respond with their knight out, probably then for white, I would do a pin on the knight to the queen. And this is very common to see a game open up like this. Castle, each side will castle at this point. I'll go over castle in a future video and why you do it. But then if I'm white, I'm probably going to pressure that bishop, push it back to escape the pin from the bishop through the knight to the queen back here in the corner. Because I can't move this knight right now, and I can't move this queen, because the minute I move that queen, if I'm black, I'm going to take it, opening up my king to attack. Get my queen up in this file, probably right there. Work from there, try and get an early checkmate. So, things that you'll notice in these openings are I move each piece a very, very few times. Like, in this specific opening, I used each piece only once, which is something you want to look forward to, not overusing a piece early. This is where a lot of beginners go wrong, is they make the mistake of your queen is your strongest piece, when debatably it's the weakest piece, because whenever it gets attacked, it must retreat. There is no way for it to be able to fend off an attack other than to take the piece that is attacking it. So there is the modern opening, which looks something like that. And then you have your variations of knight, out, or in. So, and this works well because that gets your bishops on the longest diagonal in the game, which is that diagonal right there. So that really helps mobility. And in the game of chess, the most mobile side normally wins. Because if I come out with, let's say, the Queen's Gambit. This is black, so you might want to watch. So I start off with my normal move, King Pawn up 2. They put Queen. I'm going to take the King Gambit. The other way to do a Gambit is to pass on the Gambit. However, with the Queen's Gambit, I love to take. I recommend never doing a Gambit yourself just because, well, both pawn structures here are also ruined. And beginners love it because now their queen is out and mobile, ready to strike. Well, I come out. This is my common defense. We'll use it many a times throughout my history. Push that queen. That queen has to move, because even if they do something like bishop to defend, well, I'll take that. Or that knight for queen exchange. And all of a sudden, I'm a queen up, but a knight down. Way in the lead there. And then I'm going to look for a lot more exchanges like that. So I'm going to try and get that bishop to attack the knight, take it with the queen. But that is why I don't do gambits, because then, let's say you go there. I'm activating one of my pieces, getting it out more mobile. I know I put myself in a pin, but we'll work on that in the next couple moves. Now, let's say they decide to do a developing move. Probably not that developing move, because that's going to restrict their queen's movement. We'll even say there. Now, let's get a knight out. I don't like that move. Other knight out. Now I have 3 pieces developed, and the goal is to get all of your minor pieces, your rooks connected on the back ranks where they can protect one another, your knight and bishops out, before you even move your queen. Because now that queen has to move again, and that's why I didn't do the pawn move. And I could move that piece again because they're being a bit foolish running with the queen. At this point, I'd probably castle, get rid of that pin. And for those of you who don't know, a pin is any time that you're striking through a lesser piece to a more important piece. So if I'm just going to move a couple of the pieces out of the way to make this less cluttered. But here we have a queen pinning the bishop to the king, because I'm not legally allowed to, but if that's the queen, let's say, the minute I move that piece out, come through and strike. However, this is why I hate gambits, is because even though you have an early pin, I have so many more moves now. So I castle. They're still working on developing, and I'm almost fully developed. And the key to knowing how you win development is, and this is why I have the opening sequence I do, is because there are a few things you want to do to be developed. And I will set up white as the developed side and be right back in just a couple of moments. So see you on the other. So here, white is developed. He has gotten his rooks connected on the back rank, so rooks can go and help defend each other from oncoming attacks. He has gotten all his minor pieces out into mobile positions, because that bishop can go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different squares right now. And obviously, the black side has done nothing. I haven't even touched them. Black square bishop has a lot of moves too. The knights are both out in the open, but still protected. Notice how I'm huddling both my black square bishop and my queen behind the pawn chain. So if I just need to pull, if they have that attack, now a quick move like even accepting a pin there takes away all the options to put an attack, especially on that queen. Because here, well, pawn, if they want to keep pressure on, pawn, walk them out away from your queen. So, I will show on black now how you get developed and the moves you need to do to get developed. So here we are as black, just spun the board around quick. So you need to open up a way for both of your bishops to go out. So either this pawn or this pawn forward 1 or 2, doesn't matter. I'm going to be going through the king's opening again, just because it's my favorite and that's the one I recommend. You need to get your bishop out. It doesn't matter here, here. It doesn't matter there, but you're both bishops out, so you need to open up. So that's move 3. Move 4, get the other bishop out. 5 and 6, you can get your rooks or your knights out. Move 7, get your get castled, and move 8, get your queen up. Now, all those moves are suspect to change, except move 8, get your queen out. Because I've seen people even start with, as I'm resetting here, castled. I see the problem. I know why it kind of looks set up when I'm mindlessly setting it up, because it kind of is. That knight is in the wrong spot. But I could start out with knight up, get both of these up, and that is a very, very, very defensive position, or alternatively, in. And if you think your opponent's better than you, that is the position to get into. Because if they don't realize that you have won yourself a draw. Because it's black to move here. And now you're just going to kind of wait. So you're going to do a lot of stalling moves in the minute. So white can now come up. Another stalling move. They do that, you can open this up a bit. And you should get a draw out of that position, but that has been a brief look at chess openings. Obviously, when you have that many pieces on the board, it's good to go slow. You can never go too fast on a chess opening. It's good to get your foundations right. But if you like this video, please feel free to hit the like button. And if you're new to this channel and found it helpful, a subscribe would be very, very much appreciated. It helps me continue to make videos just like this one on chess tactics and concepts. Thanks, and goodbye.